Hi, and you're very welcome to Her Story here on WomenTalk Radio. I'm Eunice Olsen, and today we have the privilege of speaking with Sangmo Sherpa, a sociology student currently studying in St. Mary's University in Canada. Her amazing journey began in a small village in the beautiful Sindhupalchok District in Nepal, where she was born. This is her story. Listen, and you will hear stories of beauty, strength, and inspiration. Let's talk Women Talk. Well, thank you so much, Sangmo, for joining us on WomenTalk Radio. We've heard so much about you from one of our advisors, Paddy, and we're really looking forward to having this conversation with you. And I know you're all the way in Canada now, so it's a very, very far, it's really far from where we are in Singapore, but so nice to finally see you and speak to you.
And thank you for inviting me. I think it's my pleasure to be here in your show.
I thought maybe we start and talk a little bit about your life in Nepal, because that's where you're from, right? From this place in Sindhupalchok. And I've actually been there, and it's so beautiful. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about how it was like for you growing up in Sindhupalchok in Nepal.
So Sindhupalchok is a big district. So I'm from one of the remote villages of Sindhupalchok District, and it's called Phupingthare. So to be able to reach there, it's a long journey. So you have to take transportation halfway, which will take you 2 to 3 hours. And after that, you have to walk from the town to my village. And it will take 5 to 6 hours. It depends on how fast one can walk.
It's quite amazing. I mean, you are from a little remote town, and now you're in Canada. So, I'm sure everybody listening in is very curious to find out how that happened. Like, how did you go from a village to now studying sociology at the University of Mary? Maybe we can talk a little bit about, when you were young, and kind of how was it like studying in your village?
Yeah, so my childhood hasn't been very luxurious. I remember wearing just one outfit, one pair of slippers, and I had to wake up early in the morning, go get the firewoods, and I had to work with my mother on the field. So to be able to go to school, it's a government school. We had to walk an hour long and to get from my house to the school. Let's say the experience or the memory that I have of my school isn't very good, because the education system is all based on memorizing. So a teacher gives you something to read. You'll have to memorize that by tomorrow and just come in. And if you forget something, you get beaten by stinging needles. It's like a plant. So it's like stinging, and then they just hit us with that plant. Yeah. And even the school, it was not like a daily routine because we had to work. So whenever we had time, we used to go to school. Otherwise, we just work and helped family.
And so you were in school, and then you ended up kind of getting scholarships, right? How did that happen?
I'm grown up in this very small rural areas, and my parents, they are not privileged to go to school or get any kind of health services. So when I first got a chance to go to Kathmandu to study, it was pretty amazing for me, because I couldn't comprehend what was going around, because it was completely a different place for me. So I was 7, and then I studied in the school in Kathmandu until grade 10. And after grade 10, I was fortunate to get a scholarship to go to Portugal to finish my high school.
Wow.
So I did IB, which is called International Baccalaureate.
Yeah.
I did 3 years of IB for a full scholarship.
In Portugal?
In Portugal. And I stayed with a host family. I had a host family who was looking after me. At that time, they were British family, so they were there to look after me. The first year was pretty tough when I went to Portugal, because it's, again, completely different culture, different new education system, and everything is new. But eventually I got the hang of it, and yeah, it worked out.
Wow, fantastic. What was the process like? Just so that, other people listening in, hopefully we can get some girls in Nepal listening in as well, to know that it's possible to do this. I mean, you can have an education if you, of course, you work hard and put your mind to it. What was the process that you had to go through to get that scholarship? Maybe you can tell that to us a little bit.
So the school I went to in Kathmandu, so what happens is, like, we have a lot of volunteers coming in our school, like volunteers from all over the world. So there was this family in Portugal. The daughter of the family was in Nepal. She came there and she came to our school. She interacted. She helped us in many ways. So she actually was the one who chose me to go to Portugal and to live with them. So yeah, the process in itself was very tough because we do not have a Portuguese embassy in Nepal. So I had to go to India. I spent a month to get my visa. So I had to stay alone in India. But the family in Portugal, they used to call me every time, so that I don't feel alone. I don't feel discouraged. So yeah, the process in itself was really hard.
How does it make you feel that your life turned out so different?
Well, I feel very fortunate because not even let's not talk of the whole villages, but like within my family, my parents, they cannot read and write. My siblings, I have 5 siblings, 2 brothers and 3 sisters. So even they are undereducated. They haven't had all the opportunities that I have. I have been fortunate in that area because my parents are very, they actually want me to do something in life. My mother was pretty scared when I first had a trip to Portugal. She was like, "Oh, maybe they will kidnap you," or stuff like that. Yeah. Other than that, my family, they are very supportive. They are very happy where I am right now. So yeah, I've been lucky.
Sangmo's story reveals the difficulties many young children have when it comes to access to education and how valuable an opportunity to study is for them. We will hear more about Sangmo's views on how education can change the lives of children in her village and how this motivated her to study in Canada right after this very short break. Welcome back to Her Story, where we're speaking with Sangmo, a sociology student currently studying at St. Mary's University in Canada. I asked her what made her decide to pursue her studies in sociology and how she hopes she can help her village back in Nepal.
When I was growing up, and I still think that there's so many social issues need to be taken into account back in Nepal, and there are so many things that people are not even aware of. Let's take an example of healthcare. They do not know, like, it's very important to check your health once in a while. So that kind of issues, and there are so many issues like getting married at a young age. That's not a problem. That's not a solution to any kind of problems. So things like that actually inspired me to study sociology, so that let's not say a big change, but at least I might bring some changes in someone's life, bring some difference, I guess. Yeah.
What is one thing that you want to change or want to help change back home?
To begin with, I think education. I think that will lead you to so many opportunities. Like, for me, education was the main resource for me to come so far. Like, so I think if I can, I would definitely focus on education and healthcare.
Why do you think it's so important for every girl to get an education?
Well, education is important for everyone. Talking about my village, yeah, it is especially for girls, because all they have come across is working and getting married. Without education, they would just get stuck to where they are right now. So I think it is very important for them to get educated and not give others the power to control their life.
What advice do you have for girls back home in, whether it's Sindhupalchok or in Nepal, who are fighting to have an education, and what do you want to say to them to encourage them?
If you're fighting for education, then keep fighting, because people won't fight for you. You have to fight for yourself. So if you're fighting, I would encourage them to fight, keep fighting. So education is just a tool for you to move forward, but you need to also be able to grab that opportunities, because there are so many opportunities you might not be able to actually comprehend. So you need to look for opportunities as well.
What is the hardest thing for you, or the biggest challenge for you being abroad and studying on your own?
Well, for now, financial is the hardest part for me.
I know that you're also trying to raise money for your education back in Canada. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been trying to do to raise money for your school?
So the family I live with, my host family, they have been the main support to organize this fundraising and be able to pay my tuition fees. It's including 2 years. I have been here for 2 years, so we have been doing this event. So the event is called Momo Madness. The momo is Nepalese food. So what we do is organize momo night, and where we invite people, our close contacts, and then they will come in and we will just talk, and I will tell them about me. So they would just come and fund, give me donate some money according to how much they are able to. Getting a little bit harder to get people through that event, so we are still figuring out other possibilities of fundraising for my 2 years of tuition fees in the university.
Somebody who is possibly listening to this interview, how can they get in touch? Is there an email? Is there possibly a website that they could go to read more about you or get in touch with you? Is there anything that you want to tell us?
Right now, there is an institution called Namo Buddha in Canada who keeps money for me. It's like an account for me there. When I have to take my pay my tuition fees, I just contact them and they will send me the money. So if you want to know more about it, there is definitely a email address and places that you can fundraise for.
I wanted to ask you at the end of the interview that we ask all the women on our show, what is empowerment to you?
Empowerment is believing in yourself, thinking that you have to have a courage to say that I can, and be able to carry that into action by whatever is available to you. So you have to be able to say I can and put that into action. That is empowering for me, I think.
Thank you so much, Sangmo, for this great interview, for just sharing your story with us. I mean, obviously, you have been through quite a journey to get to where you are today. And that is very, very admirable for such a young girl like you.
Well, thank you so much for having me in your show.
What an amazing, young and inspiring lady. Now, that was, of course, Sangmo speaking with us all the way from Canada. Now, she's currently trying to raise money for the rest of the school, and if you want to contribute to her journey in affecting change through the power of education, you can visit Namo Buddha Canada, that's NAMO Buddha, BUDDHA Canada.org, and you can find out more about how you can donate to her very inspiring journey. Also, if you like our podcast, please subscribe to our channel for more stories about unsung heroines around us. Or you can also visit us at WomenTalk.com. My name is Eunice Olsen, and thank you so much for tuning in with us here on Women Talk Radio.